I hope you enjoy this video. Please find me and all the products at thepaintedphotographer.com. I will see you there. We're going to make over this table, and the veneer was loose, bubbled up on the top, and starting to chip. So we took a putty knife and we got everything that was loose off. You can see here why you want to get that veneer off because of all the moisture. Repair that top with Bondo. It's 2 parts. You mix it together, it makes this thick paste, and you have to work quickly. I have a tip, and that is just work in small sections. You're going to have some ridges and some bumps that you want to smooth out. I used an orbital sander. I also was outside when I did this. You can see by all the snow on the ground. But you want to smooth that out as well as you can. This is a 120 grit sandpaper that's on my sander, and it's making a very smooth top where all that veneer was missing. Now I have to cover up that white, so I'm going to use weathered wood from DIY, and I'm going to make a solid coverage all over that table to cover up the inconsistencies in the color. Weathered wood is my favorite for making it look like natural wood. When I distress, I don't want it to go down to the white Bondo, so I'm putting a coat of Big Top over top of that weathered wood so that when I distress it, it does not go past this layer. Now's the fun part. This is tarnished pearl from DIY, the old formula, so it's similar to crinoline. I had some that I needed to use up, so I thought this was a good place for it. It's a very vintagey looking white, and you are going to, this is the 8-inch sampler brush from DIY. Works extremely well trying to get into some of those crevices, and it also fits well in your sample jar of DIY paint. You're going to just put a single layer over top of the entire wood area. Some of the spots you don't have to get as well because we're going to be distressing it anyway, so you will see some of the areas where the wood is still showing through. This is the second coat. Yep, you get to do it all over again. Put that paint all over the spindles. And I had a little bit of bleed through issue. And so I fixed it with some color, and we'll see that soon. This is how I fixed my bleed through issue. I wanted to add a little color. This is Apothecary. I'm spraying it with a little water, going over the top half of my table legs with Apothecary. I'll have you watch this one more time. Spray it with water, take apothecary on your brush, and you're gonna go heavy on one spot and then just blend it in on the other. You don't need much paint at all. I wanted to add a layer and brighten up that apothecary a bit, so this is mint chip. It's one of my favorite colors and it goes so well with apothecary. Now it's time for just a pop of color. This is cake batter, just a soft yellow. And I'm putting it in random spots, which you'll see when we distress how that looks good. It's all about the layers and the colors. This is Salty Kiss. Very random. Now comes the fun part. You're gonna distress it using a baby wipe, and you're gonna pull some of that top color off. That top color is gonna blend right in, and you're gonna see some of those colors that are underneath it. Some of that tarnished pearl is gonna start to pop through, and you're gonna mute that dark salty kiss on the top. You can distress down to the wood or go as far as you want. See that tarnished pearl coming through? So pretty. On the bottom, I didn't add any color. This is still the tarnished pearl, and I wanted it to fade into that color. But I'm also distressing very heavy down there. The DIY paint was dry, so it comes off a little bit tougher than when it's wet. So in order to make this come off a little bit easier and not have to work so hard, spray it with your water bottle and let it set on there for a bit, and it kind of softens up that clay paint so that it distresses a bit easier. Have fun with this part. Now I distressed the top. After I got all those colors a little muted, then I went actually down to the bare wood. So I distressed a little bit heavier in some spots and got some really good layers of paint to come popping through. I went over the top with apothecary, and I wanted it to match the sides, so I do 2 coats of apothecary, and then I put the mint chip over the top, and it gave it that bright look. And I'm just putting some paint on there and trying to go all the same way. Then I'm adding the cake batter and adding that in to make just some fun layers of color on the top. And then Salty Kiss, just like on the sides. I just slightly distressed the edges with a baby wipe, and then I put the big top on. You want to put big top on the top because it's a really hard surface and it's going to protect the top of your table very well. It's a clear and it goes on very smooth. It brightens the colors. I just love this part. Here's the table, but it's missing something. I did the transfer live on my Facebook page, but this is what it was. It's the Wallflower IOD transfer. I just put it on the center, rubbed it on there with the little plastic tool that you get with it, and after you get it all rubbed onto the surface, you can start to pick it up and see the magic happen. If you want to watch that in full, head on over to The Painted Photographer on Facebook. I like the transfers distressed a bit, so I took a 220 sanding block and went right over top of the transfer, distressing some of the color off a little bit and adding a few scratch marks to it and getting it just rubbed right into the surface, making it look like it's been there forever. You want to seal your transfer, so it's one more layer of big top. I always go in a straight line, same way, all the way across the table, making it a really smooth finish. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please head on over to thepaintedphotographer.com if you'd like to order any of the products that I used today. And if you'll follow my Facebook page, it's The Painted Photographer. And also subscribe to the YouTube. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.